Good evening, everybody. I am Daksh. I am the founder of Blub World magazine, which basically works on the simple concept of inspiring teenagers. And to inspire teens, we find inspiration in teens. The focus of our work is teens inspiring teens. We keep finding teenagers who are doing great in life in whichever sphere and try to share their stories, their struggles, what all they've been doing with other teenagers. As on date, we reached to more than 1,000 schools across India. And from time to time, we try to create white papers on school education sector. That how is K-12 reacting to different economic stimuli, to social stimuli, to societal stimuli, on whatever is going around the whole atmosphere that we work in. So just in that part, this is one of those activities. Today, we are all sitting in the 20th session of this web talks. This is the 20th session. We have done 19 such sessions before this, and nearly 125 school leaders from more than 60 geographies have participated in such talks, including UK, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Dubai, India, and a lot of different places. So the reason why we are doing this is we are trying to gather the best ideas or innovations that schools are doing during this lockdown to engage with their teachers and their students via technology, via assignments, any small little different ideation or innovation that you're doing in your school. We want to know that. And we are trying to create an idea repository that will be sharing with all the schools, nearly to 5,000 schools across the globe, to implement those ideas within their ecosystems. So it's basically benefit sharing. Just to give you an understanding, the farmers are growing food for you. The doctors are taking care of your health. The police is taking care of your monitoring. And as educators or educationists, it's not just our responsibility to decipher education. It's also our responsibility to create the next set of knowledge that will be required for the future generations to come. And right now we are, during this lockdown, in a very unique scenario when we'll be testing our capabilities, our ideologies, our thinkings, our way of working, our ethics, and we'll be developing some of the most innovative solutions that mankind will remember forever. So I hope you're doing amazing stuff at your school. Let's start knowing that. Just to give you an example of the kind of ideas we've been getting till now is, there's one school in a very small village in West Bengal called Padua. They don't have internet. So the kind of assignment that they've given to their kids is to create a custom dictionary at home where they have to add 5 new words every day. And once the school opens, they have to bring that dictionary to school. So that's learning without the internet during this lockdown. There is one school in Gujarat, which is a Swaminarayan run school, which is housing more than 50 kids in its hostel since the lockdown has begun, because these 50 kids were not able to go to their homes. And these 50 kids come from the most affluent families from all across Gujarat. And handling them and taking care of them is a very difficult task. So we are creating an observation paper just on that. There is one school in Nepal that has started a class called Problem Solving Engineering. They've told their kids that go into the kitchen, find what problems your mom is facing, and give it an engineering solution and tell us that solution. So people are doing amazing stuff across schools, across the globe. So let's hear it from all of you. What all innovative are you doing within your schools at this point of time? Let's start from Radha Krishnan, sir. Over to you, sir, for the next 2 minutes. You can unmute yourself.
Good evening to all of you. I'm Radha Krishnan, Regional School Director until last month. I was in charge of all schools of Zealand from Telangana to Kanyakumari. And if you ask me what's my job, it's benchmarking excellence in schools. I'll put it in just a nutshell. Now, I have come here because I have something to say about certain fundamentals, which are often overlooked by even the best schools. Now, empowering children, making them natural learners should be a goal. So to begin with, I'll say what Stephen R. Collier said, begin with the end in mind. So whatever we are doing, let us have a goal, a clear goal. So I have initiated these activities in my schools, not just for the lockdown, but particularly now I've told them they can do it. Empowering children in 2 areas. The first is clear communication. Being able to talk sense and be cogent, clear and focused. Second is allowing them to learn to think, learning to think. I'm emphasizing that. To think critically and analytically and go forward to the realm of creativity. Now, these cannot be taught by computers or any of your other, what you call artificial intelligence. And these are life skills, which are core skills. So what do we do about it? We have to give children activities, activities which can be small projects. Now, it should be age appropriate. It should be relevant, meaningful to the child. It must awaken curiosity. And it must have some fun-filled aspect also. Then they will do it by themselves. Now, the whole idea is children are full of ideas. We begin with the premise that children are not dull or dumb. They know a lot of things. So that is the fundamental premise. You give them activities to do, which will stretch their imagination, which will stretch their resourcefulness, which will make them go to their siblings, go to their uncle, aunt, mother, father, friend, to find solutions. Now, devising such activities and giving them one per week, they will do the activity, and at the end of it, they will make a 2-minute video. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
They will make a 2-minute video, which will be evaluative of what they did, how they did it, what were the eureka moments, what were the disappointing moments, when did the bulb, glow, when did they get the different ideas. So they will evaluate it and make a 2-minute video on that and present it to others.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those thoughts. We'll try to take more of your thoughts in the coming times, because right now your 2 minutes, 30 seconds are over. Thank you so much. I think 2 or 3 things that can go with us is learning to think, projects and activities which are fun-filled, and trying to create a reporting video on what they did during the activities and the projects that you gave them. Thank you so much
for
sharing.
Give you any of these ideas, any number of ideas I can give you about these activities.
Absolutely. We'll be taking those. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those ideas with us. Now let's hear it from before I actually give the next 2 minutes to anybody. Just remember, while you share ideas, your learnings, your experience, language is not a bar. You can use English or Hindi, whichever language is comfortable to you. To put it very simply, भाषा ज्ञान का पैमाना नहीं है. So knowledge is more important than the language that you're using. So don't worry about the भाषा that you use. आप हिंदी भी use कर सकते हैं, English भी कर सकते हैं. बस वो idea या वो knowledge जो आप इस समय देना चाहते हैं, वो हम तक पहुंच जाए. क्योंकि वो एक छोटा सा आइडिया भी बहुत बड़ा चेंज हो सकता है स्कूल एजुकेशन सिस्टम में. कि हो सकता है आप रियलाइज ना कर रहे हो कि वो कितनी छोटी सी एक्टिविटी है जो बड़ी होके बहुत ही गजब हो जाए. So now let's hear it from Harendra Yadav ji. So Harendra sir, your 2 minutes start now. Over to you. You can unmute your audio and start.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and I thanks for the well words who are inviting me. Especially, I am belonging to Delhi, Harendra Kumar Yadav, and the principal of Chodram Public School, Bhaktawarpur, Delhi, 36. It is the rural-based school, and here is the due to the lockdowns. Just I invited most of the students. You know well about these schools. Here is the different age group students studying in this school, that is the senior secondary level. Especially our teachers and my team are also working along with the students and the parents, especially the preschool, prep, and the first second standard, and all the schools students. I created the group of student and WhatsApp, and also use the classes, especially the 10th and 12th standard, by using the Zoom app. But some problems are facing the advisory given by the or the ministry and other things. So in this time also using the Nest Education, that is the directly connected to the student. There is the problem how to teach the student at the lockdown. First of all, I advise the teachers to record the activity, and they also circulate by the WhatsApp group, and also take the feedback by the parents, and in the preschool, prep, first and second, and the primary level, I all the advise the student, especially the physical teachers, please you also report the video and other kind of the activity for the physical fitness of the student, because in these times students are staying at the home, that is the facing the problem. You know, like they are going to the school, they are enjoying in the classrooms, they are meeting to the classmate and other things activity, but now they are blocked at particular places. So this is the my efforts used by the, and in the 10th and 12th standard and the 9th and the 11th standard also, already downloaded the curriculums according to the syllabus of the CBSE, and circulate to the student also. So I found the near about 90 to 95% student attending the classes. They are enjoying, and me and my teachers team try to make the stay free by the involving such kind of the activity, because some students are participating in the dances, some are doing in the kitchen work also, some of the drawing activity, some of the other kind of the activity, the extra class, art teachers are attending the student and advise the student do such kind of the activity, and the physical teachers are working. So this is the time for them.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those thoughts. What you are doing right now in Delhi, and that also in Delhi 6, because as far as we understand, that's a very congested area. तो वहाँ पे बिल्कुल भी घर के बाहर का movement पूरी तरीके से बंद है. And at this point, creating physical activity videos for kids is something very good. You're doing something very nice. Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts with us. And now let's hear it from Rajesh Vasudevanji. So Rajesh ji, over to you for the next 2 minutes. You can unmute your audio. Try to share with us your introduction, one learning that you've got during this time, and most important, any idea, innovation, small little thing that can help other schools during this lockdown. Over to you.
First of all, a very hearty evening to all of you. And I'm Rajesh Vasudevan. I'm the head of School of Manchester International School in Coimbatore. This is basically an IB school, and one of its kind in this region, because we have been here for the last 10 years. So it's a continuum IB school. Please excuse me, I may not be able to follow Hindi, though I can understand, but I cannot speak in Hindi. Kindly excuse me for that. It's not that I don't. So coming back to this topic of lockdown doesn't prevent us from learning. The very purpose of learning, as we define as, is a process. So learning is, if we understand learning as something that happens in the four walls of the classroom, I'm sorry, I think we have defined it wrongly. For me, for my school, learning is beyond the classrooms, beyond the physical infrastructure. The physical infrastructure is just a cosmetic setup for a school. Real learning happens outside. The whole idea of education is preparation for life itself, is well defined, and this is one of the most precious moments that the world has given us to rethink, redesign, reframe the concept of learning. This is a big blow on the system. What we thought would not happen, or what we thought need not happen, has happened. The inevitable has happened. The world has, the nature by itself has taken a stopgap arrangement and said, come on, fools, now you think. Do you think that learning happens only in schools? This has made all the entire industry, irrespective of any kind of industry that we're talking about, education by itself has been made to rethink. Let it be the management. I'm putting all the stakeholders in one basket. Now, what we did with this learning during this point of time is, on one platform we do go with the online classes. Academic support have been held for right from kindergarten till grade 12. We are doing that. But for me, that is just homework that's been happening. You want me to stop?
Actually, your time is over. We can try to get back to you. If there's something important that you want to say, you can take 30 seconds more.
One last one. I just want to add 2 points. That's it. I won't take much of your time. The real learning is what we did in our school is making the children. There are the 4 points actually. Connecting to the roots is what we did. Connecting to the roots. We wanted the parents and the children to sit together, have lunch, dinner, breakfast together, sit around and talk about their family. Connecting them to the family history is what we wanted them to do. So connecting back to roots, irrespective of customs, beliefs, and traditions, we wanted them to do that. We also focused on the personal growth of the child, making the child read a lot of books beyond the textbooks. We gave a lot of importance to the personal growth, and we wanted the children to come out with ideas of their own. So we use the design thinking platform where they take each week, they take a new concept and they develop on that. Digital exhibition is something that has happened the last few months, and skills. If you permit me, we will discuss this sometimes later, but this is what we have done in our school, irrespective of academics, connecting back to roots, personal growth, digital exhibition, and skills enhancement.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those thoughts. I think one or two of your ideas can actually go to the white paper. One being you're working on design thinking, where you're telling them to create some new innovation every time. And second, digital exhibitions. Schools have right now started doing this, but this is something that has to be done more, because once you ask a kid to exhibit something, it's a big, moment of achievement for him. So he gets his, time in the sun. So it's good to, promote digital exhibitions on whatever kids are doing. Try make them to show those things to you during such Zoom calls and such activities. Like one of the schools, what they're doing is they're doing flip learning very efficiently. A teacher is creating a 60-second lesson promo, which is typically like a movie teaser, that us lesson ke upar try to just create content which excites the kid to find out more about that lesson. And once he goes and finds that, then create a Zoom call like this and give him 3 minutes to speak about the lesson of what has he learned from the lesson. So that basically gives them two things. One, the skill to learn, and second, the skill to understand different perspectives about the same lesson and how people see the same content in different ways. So this is being executed very nicely by some of the schools. So now let's hear it from Nirkesh Sharma ji. Nirkesh ji, over to you for the next 2 minutes. Try to share with us your experience, your introduction, one learning, and most importantly, one idea or innovation that other schools can learn from you. Over to you, sir.
So dear friend, this is Dr. Nirkesh Sharma, and we have a chain of schools, Kasi Ramratan International Private Schools. What we are doing in our school, we asked the computer teachers, IT teachers to create a platform for the students. So they develop their own video platform of teaching. So how they are teaching, we have a question banks of each and every classes. So what they do, they teach us through video classes, and after that they frame some questions, and the question is to be distributed among the students, and they try to solve, and they submit through that digital platform, and it comes to the teachers, and automatically these are the some question MCQ type question, matching questions, fill in the blank question. So by the software, these are already checked by the software, and the answers are sent to the student. So at the moment we get the result of each and every student. So this we are doing in our schools. How we motivate the teachers to develop all these softwares. Actually, they are the IT experts, so they create on software. By that software, we are not supposed to use any Zoom or any Microsoft Team. So with the help of that software, online software, we reach to the every student. So that is online classes. We also have offline classes. If students offline in the sense means if students or teachers want to do some innovative work, then they use their laptop, they use their mobile phones, they complete their homework. After that, they send this to WhatsApp or other means. So the students' work is being checked. So this is how we are doing this one. The thing which I have got this Zoom meeting means everyone is doing good. Everyone is using this digital platform. So definitely we are doing this one. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those thoughts with us. Now let's hear it from Nandita Prakash ji. Ma'am, over to you for the next 2 minutes. Please try to share your introduction, one learning, and one idea or innovation or one vision that other schools can learn from you. Over to you for the next 2 minutes.
Hi, Daksh. My name is Nandita Prakash. I am academic advisor. Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Yeah, hi. So I am academic advisor to Shriram Global group of schools across Delhi NCR and Ludhiana. And thank you for Raksha and Aditi for calling me on this platform and sharing my point of view. Just a second, I'm just finding it difficult to, yeah. Okay, very quickly, my realization during this the lockdown has been quite enlightening as well as shocking as well. So we have realized collectively, all the schools, that our teachers are not as much technically equipped as we thought they were in handling online classes, as well as I would say digital content. So this also raises a doubt in our mind that whether they are efficiently using their digital aids in supporting classrooms or no. So that's one. It is not about using the technology. It's about taking the optimum utilization from the technology that you're using. So very quickly, a few understandings which we have developed in the process collectively as the group of schools is that online classrooms are very different from the actual classrooms. And the difference is that in regular classrooms, there can be distractions such as other children distracting or maybe the environment. That is not there in online portal. However, there are distractions wherein there is an attention span. So children have lesser attention span when they are watching you over the video. So you cannot use only the lecture methodology, the lecture method as the teaching methodology, and whatever content that you're using. So the same lesson plans which you're otherwise using in your classroom cannot be used in a online portal. You have to change your the way you're taking the concept. The entire idea changes. It has to be very concise, very interesting, and you also have to be careful about involving children with different learning abilities. So you have to take, while you are taking lecture as the method of teaching, you also have to take care of visual learners, auditory learners, as well as kinesthetic learners. So for visual learners, teachers are sharing videos. For auditory learners, of course, the lecture method works. But for kinesthetic children, it is very difficult. Like they're like left out in the process. So this might seem a little funny, but it is very helpful if you, after every 15 minutes, if you ask your children to just get up for no reason, just get up, jump 5 times, and clap your hands 10 times, because it immediately brings their attention back to what you are saying. I can say it by experience because I'm a kinesthetic person, and for me to sit long hours in a lecture is very difficult. So if there's something which can stimulate my potential energy, definitely pulls my attention back to the topic. So this is one thing that one should be considering. Secondly, once the teacher moves, so this is the basic. The teachers have just learned to use the online aids of interacting with children. But once they become pro, then I think they can also lead group discussions on call by muting, unmuting the various participants. They can also conduct group discussions, which can be very, very helpful. A few of the people involved in the conversation today have already shared that. I'm sure it is working well with them as well. Other than that, I think I would like to talk about the way the teachers are taking their classroom. So when the way you prepare yourself for an actual classroom, you should also prepare yourself for the online classroom. So it's not only about the content that you're going to share on your Zoom platform or the screen sharing, but also how you present yourself. I've seen a lot of teachers who are not they don't look groomed when they're taking classrooms. So there's a lot of difference. Children look at you with a particular perspective. So you have to maintain that even on an online classroom platform.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing those. We'll have to mute you. We'll try to come back to you if possible within the whole meeting itself. I think one of your ideas, which actually will find space in the white paper, would be making kids to either stand up and do something physical every 5 minutes to get their attention back. It's a very good idea, very easy to implement, and I think it will go to the white paper and it will reach to the maximum schools with your name on it. Thank you so much for sharing that. If anything during these talks, if you think any of your idea or anything is left and you're not able to speak it out during these 2 minutes, our team will come back to you and they'll take it from you either on messages or whatever format you wish to give it to us, because we don't want to miss anything. The only thing is this is a limited time that we have. So we have to give opportunity to everybody. Thank you so much, Nanda ma'am, for sharing those thoughts with us. And now let's hear it from Hamid sir. Hamid sir, over to you for the next 2 minutes. You can unmute your audio. Agle 2 minute mein try to share with us your introduction, one learning and one idea or one vision जो आपसे दूसरे स्कूल सीख सकें. Over to you.
I am basically from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. and then lucky to have gone on deputation for a long period to Saudi Arabia to serve the Indian Embassy School. Right now came back as a senior citizen with the national award, working for the extended period, but still a teacher never retires. So I am heading a group of schools in Hyderabad as an academic advisor. My basic principle is to make learning joyful experience for the children. So realizing these difficulties that the children have to spend more time at home, we started a small classroom innovative project. In fact, it is now to be called as innovative project at home. That is cutting the cartoons from the newspapers. Almost all the papers, English and also vernacular, they bring some kind of cartoon every day. So the child has to cut that cartoon and interpret in his own way 2 or 3 sentences and collect that bundle and hand them over, and we call this project as Cartoon Speaks. In fact, cartoon doesn't speak. When the child brings those cartoons, he will, and he is already speaking to his parents about that cartoon. For example, one simple cartoon I wanted to show, all the children are sitting with busy with their mobile phones and tabs, but the board there says, children are playing, please drive carefully. And all the children in that park are sitting with their own electronic gadgets. So this Cartoon Speaks project has become very popular. Now I am getting everyday reports, though I am sitting at home due to this corona, lockdown. And wonderful topic, no lockdown on learning. Learning can never stop. And I should appreciate, before I say thank you, and one more small project that we have taken up for primary classes is the language games and reading cards. Reading card is a postcard size chart paper on which a child draws a small picture from Panchatantra or from any kind of stories and writes only 4 or 5 sentences. The picture and writing is related. So these reading cards are helping. And what I have learned from you, Mr. Gaur, is making own dictionary. How the child enjoys writing his own word, difficult words, finding the meaning, and calling finally it is my own dictionary. That possessiveness is created by that school. I thank the principal. So from my side, the Cartoon Speaks is one area, reading cards and language games. Language games I will not discuss because I will be exceeding the time. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Amit sir. I think a very amazing idea where Cartoon Speaks, because this is something fun, filled with a lot of colors. And the best part, the kid has to write an interpretation, which actually adds his own perspective to it. And again, adds a big sense of belongingness to him, possessiveness. Thank you so much for this idea. We'll share it with maximum schools and it can be done very easily. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you so much, Amitji. So now let's hear it from I cannot read your name, sir. I can just read the number 4436A166. I don't know if you're there. I cannot read your name. You can tell your introduction, one learning and one vision. And please, I'm sorry I have to read the number because I cannot see the name on the profile. You can unmute yourself. Next 2 minutes are yours.
Hello. Is this, you can hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hi, this is Venki here from Kriya Learning. We are a 21st century learning focused organization and work with about close to 115 schools across India and UAE. So while I'm not a typical educator in the sense of being a principal or a trustee, I think I've had conversations with quite a few trustees on what is the current, how are they tackling the current situation. In terms of learnings for now, I think the others are more qualified to share. I have been having conversation with most of the trustees about what they will do when they reopen the schools post summer. In a socially distanced classroom environment, the assembly where people jostle one by one, how do we redesign those interactions as part of our design thinking? We are working with a select group of educators. So the kind of suggestions that we are discussing are as radical as having 2 shifts, so that, I mean, we are not getting into the economics of it. These are all at a very preliminary stage of having 2 shifts so that the class can be divided because you can't have, parents don't want 3 children in a bench, to the kind of suggestions where we are all have discovered that it is not necessary to come 5 days to a school. So why should we have 5 days? So can't it be 2 days of learning in the home itself with all your flipped classrooms, everybody learns technology, and then 3 days for the social interaction and project work that is required. So those are some of the kind, how do we do those effectively are the kind of conversations that Kriya Learning is having. And to answer one of the points raised, LA is a digital portfolio system which captures all the richness of a project-based learning, reflections, evidences, learning objectives. So instead of learning one way where the teacher is only teaching and doesn't really get to know as to the assessment or the richness of what is the response from the child, LA app is a tool that we have tied up and suggested to schools. So that gives an opportunity for teachers to even mentor, annotate on if it's a film that is made as to the lighting. And am I done? Should I stop?
You have 20 more seconds. You have completed 2 minutes.
So that app is one thing, and as part of our STEM learning itself, we go beyond using a passive consumption of content. All these digital smart boards are one way where the child is learning. So here we teach them how to shoot, edit, storyboarding, script writing, so that they are able to articulate. So that has come of rescue to most of the schools that we work with. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Venki, for sharing those thoughts with us. I think it's something relevant that we'll have to refigure what's going to happen once the school reopens. So I think we had one more participant, but they have disconnected due to some issue. So I think we can, before this talk comes to an end, and we've got some amazing ideas from all of you that we'll be documenting. Our team will stay in touch with you. If you any of your ideas or anything within your speech, you could not speak, try to share it with us through our team. We'll try to include that in the white paper, and we'll try to share the updates of the white paper with you so that you can also implement some of those ideas at your place. At this point, I just want to give 2 ideas, which is typically some food for your thought, so that when we meet next, we can have some more better ideas from you. So it's basically some food for thought for you. First, at this point, we are right now using a lot of ed tech products, or a lot of education technology products are there that we are either trying to use or evaluating or understanding, or a lot of education technology companies coming to us through their solutions. After talking to nearly 150 school principals and after understanding their observations, what we could think of was most of these education technology products, the so-called ed tech products, are not solving education issues. They are solving communication issues. They are not education products, they are communication products, just tailored to the education sector. Second and most important, why am I sharing this? So that once you evaluate an edtech product, try to think from the perspective of an educator. Don't try to think from a perspective of an administrator. An administrator will just buy a technology. An educationist will buy the human factor with the technology. And because it's so overwhelming for an educator at this point, because so many options, and you are somebody who's not into technology that much. So how do you evaluate that product? So at this point, don't lose your confidence on your ability to judge things. Judge things with your own composure, because just being an education technology product does not mean it's going to serve you in the best way possible. And second and most important, during this time, 2 companies which were not supposed to be education technology companies, which did not have any relation to edtech, right now are leading the market. The first one being WhatsApp and the second one being this Zoom. They are not supposed to be edtech companies. They are communication companies, and right now they're leading because easy to use. And the user experience is so seamless that you don't have to teach the usage of it. Once a person comes on the platform, he intuitively learns it. And I think every educationist at this point should demand for intuitiveness in an edtech product. Once you're looking at an edtech product, tell them, does it need training? If it needs training, it's of no use. If it does not need training, then it's of use, because then is when you are actually creating technology that is worth it. So this is one silo of the thought that I wanted to leave you with so that we can understand something more from you. And second silo, we are right now in a lockdown or a corona world. And I hope, and everybody hopes, that we will all be there in a post-corona world. when all this will get over. So once we are in that post-corona world, just try to visualize and think the character or the persona introduction of your student will change. And at the same time, the characteristics of your teacher will change. And their interaction dynamics within the class will change because they've used technology to that extent that their lifestyle has been altered. Once you alter a lifestyle, there are major behavioral changes that come into play. And once they come into play, education will become a totally different ballgame. And as far we can all see the intrusion of technology in our lives. And global CEOs right now are just worried about one thing: how to upskill this big population of people that we have and we cannot use in the coming times when technology will take over jobs. So we'll have to think of what exact skills do we need to teach a student. It cannot be just academics, because content delivery or just giving him information is no more a big skill for a teacher. Technology can very easily do that. A teacher cannot be somebody who gives information anymore, because that's done, that's old. You'll have to think on the exact skill sets the teacher will require in the post-corona world. And secondly, I think two skills will have to be deciphered to a student compulsorily, and we don't know how to do it. The first one, as Radhakrishnan ji also pointed out, the first one being creativity. Creativity not in the sense of colors and painting, creativity in the sense of divergent thinking, creativity in the sense of perceptive analysis, creativity in the sense of
lateral thinking also.
Because this is what keeps humans better than technology and relevant than technology, because most of the redundant things technology will do. And you cannot make humans that are useless. You will have to make them utility driven. And if you make them utility driven, they have to be super creative and they have to be better than whatever exists in the world, because you're giving a future generation and it has to be better than us. And second and most important, and which is going to be the critical, super critical skill in the coming times, and that is wisdom. The child should know by himself what is good and bad for him, and he should be a good decision maker on that. It is very difficult to decipher wisdom, because most of the technology that you're giving him at his hand opens the internet to him. And he cannot be policed. There is no technology that can 100% police him on the internet. So when you cannot police him, you'll have to teach him how to self-monitor. And how to do that is something that we'll all have to find out. I think these two thoughts is something that we can find more ideas from you in the coming times. And I hope you enjoyed today's talk. If you enjoyed it, we are trying to find the most creative schools in India. So if you're doing anything creative, you, your teachers, your principals, your students' parents, try to share it with us. We'll try to share it with maximum schools across the nation, because as educationists, it's our duty to give the society the next set of knowledge it needs. It has to come from all of us, even a small little idea, but it has to find space in the repository that we give to the world. So thank you, Raksha ji, for being the timekeeper today for today's talk. Thank you, everybody, for taking out the time and being with us today. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, open your audio, say a big yes. And if you would like to attend the further sessions, you can open your audio and say a yes.
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 Definitely.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Hope you enjoyed. And you want to share anything, our teams will stay connected. Please share it with us. Thank you so much.